And we're live.
We're
Welcome back.
live.
We're live.
It was sweet. The stream's a little bit delayed, so it like had me like kind of like it showed me leaning in, like if I was like, "Oh, hello, everyone,"
Yeah, a nice entrance, like,
you know?
whoa. Even though our
Yeah,
heads are
yeah, yeah,
tiny and
yeah,
people
yeah,
probably
yeah.
can't even see him.
Dude, people can see him. It's us.
They could see him.
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, dude. How are you? How's your week been?
Yeah, good, dude. It's been crazy, man.
Been
It's been
crazy.
crazy, 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 crazy busy, but I'm glad to be streaming. Hello, everyone in the chat. Glad to be in Livebrush.
Fan brushes. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Rex Verdi. That's good.
Yeah, precious.
I love
Write
it.
that down, man. I got my gloves on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna write it on my screen. Fan brushes. I should put it in the stream title.
Uh,
So what's new, man? What are you doing
yeah, yeah.
today?
Can you, dude? I am working on this painting that I said I'd be done with. I remember, last stream I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna work on it off stream. Um,
Yeah, you're a liar.
yeah, I
I
didn't touch
got
it
you.
at all. Yeah, I totally lied, and I've been swamped with other things. So I'm gonna be working on this bad boy here. What about you?
I'm still working on this guy. I think I landed on one last week that I liked. So now I'm just gonna. What I would normally do is start tweaking this one. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tweak this one
Okay.
and kind of mess around with some options, and then I think probably by the end of the stream I'll blow it up and start doing some more details and flesh it out a bit.
Well, that's exciting,
Yeah, man, pretty good.
dude. So do you work with like in uh that little thumbnail, and then you said that you blow it right up from there,
I
and
might.
then
So the issue is
or
like I did the sketch with, and I run into this a lot with this brush, but I did the sketch with this like really canvasy textured brush, and when I blow that up, and you'll see it in some of my like past magic cards, like I usually blow it up and then start working over that. The like fidelity or pixel density of the canvas brush is different when you start blowing it up or shrinking it. So I might
oh
just use this as like a base sketch and go and redraw the whole thing and do and just get the pose better and stuff like that which is what I would normally do for an illustration, and just start um, cleaning things up as I push forward.
yeah, yeah, it's like a digital version of what Alex Ross does.
Right, like he kind of gets the pose rough and then
Like he
starts
does, yeah, he does his
pushing
really
more.
super, tight thumbnails, and then he basically just takes it into a Xerox machine and blows it up, and then builds off that.
Oh yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, I love with digital tools is another reason why I love digital tools is I just start like if I have this right, like if this little thumbnail is right, you can't see it, but if well, I guess you can if you look in the stream. If this little thumbnail is right, I will sometimes I'll just blow that up and like trace right over it, like I would do with vellum. With my traditional
Right.
stuff, I would get the vellum paper out, which is this like tracing paper that I came across. It's like super transparent looking paper, but it's not to the point. It's not as like inconsistently cloudy as regular tracing paper. So I've used that a lot just to build up sketches. You just put it down and
What type
start
of
drawing right over it.
what type of vellum you rocking?
Well, it's not like so. Usually, when you grab like the Canson stuff, the vellum, it's actually like white paper, a really
Right.
really smooth white paper. This is from another company. I can't remember the name right now. I'll have to find it and put it on the next stream. Um,
Is it
but
Duralar?
they're calling it vellum. It might be Duralar. They call it vellum, but
Is
it's
that the
really
stuff
like
that
just really high end tracing paper.
right? Yeah. Oh, we got first time chat.
All right.
Uh, Belan artist. Big hug from Costa Rica. Fan of both of
Oh,
y'all. Oh
nice.
man. Saludos.
Salud.
That's awesome.
I gotta say, I'm not gonna speak any Spanish on this stream, but
You promised me you would.
I promised you I would never. I've been studying Spanish now for 120 days, and I still
Oh,
feel
I thought you
like
were gonna
I've
say
only got
years.
baby Spanish.
Well,
120 years.
at
Yeah, I
least
know
you could
every
ask for more.
Spanish. I know every Spanish movie. I know them all.
As many Spanish movies as you do Ralph Bakshi
Yeah,
films.
just as like you list a Ralph Bakshi film, I know a Spanish film for it. No, no. I bet it's been fun. It's been fun. I'm learning a lot. I should have paid attention in high school, is all I'm saying.
Well, it's hard when your parents didn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They did not. Your parents did speak Spanish, but you were saying like what? Were they like were they teaching you Spanish when they were using Spanish, or were they not teaching you Spanish when they were using Spanish?
No, they were. They were. I mean, well, my grandparents spoke, but they spoke English, but very little. It varied. So it was just easier to talk to them in Spanish.
Yeah, and kids pick it up like
Yeah.
super fast.
Yeah. And so when you're around it a lot, you know certain things. I mean, I wasn't around it a lot. Like some of my friends, their parents only spoke Spanish at home,
Oh, really?
and it was
Okay.
like, whoa, yeah, yeah.
There were a lot of
And
kids
they
like
knew
that
English,
in
but
my
it was
high
like,
school. Their parents only spoke Spanish, but they were taking like Spanish class along with me, and I was like, "Damn, I can't speak. I don't speak it at home. You guys have a disadvantage. I have a disadvantage." Um, but man, I
yeah,
feel like this
Lord,
is like a thing we've talked about on the stream a whole bunch is like teachers that are really good at something like really get you excited. Like we're talking about like our art teachers.
yeah.
I didn't have that in high school, so I think that was why I suffered in Spanish class so bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I had that happen to me too. I mean, I took college level Spanish, and I just in high school, and I thought it was going to be fairly easy, and then I realized that it was actually real Spanish that I had to like adult Spanish, and my teacher was not what you call encouraging.
Right. There we
So it
go.
was
See?
just like, yeah, yeah, I'm good.
That just doesn't help. Like it does if you're excited to learn something, now that I'm, almost 40, I'm excited to learn the language. And so I actually like study it every
Right.
day. Still can't say
Well, so
much.
you're a high schooler. Yeah.
Yeah, language teachers can
We
make or
also,
break the language learning experience for sure, for sure.
well, just teachers in general, right?
Yeah, that's why I think this kind of bleeds into art education stuff like we're always talking about on this stream, but yeah, it is. It's such an important aspect to is like presenting the material right, keeping you excited, also um, making it simple to digest, which I think I've sat in on some of your classes. You're very good at that, man. You're able to explain it real easy.
Well, thanks, man. It's basically like
I don't want
this
to give you
is
too
a
many
pencil.
compliments, but
Hello, Mr. Pencil. Why, hello, Teacher Ray.
that's his classes, guys.
Yeah.
Summed up. You got it here for free. You didn't even have to go to school.
If you would like to hear more, please like and subscribe.
Oh man, it was almost Starship Troopers there for a second.
Oh my God. Yeah, I
A fan fave.
I definitely channel Verhoeven like on the daily. That I don't even know it.
Man, you got to watch that Netflix show I keep telling you about, the movies that made us, because one of the episodes is RoboCop, and
Oh my
the
God.
the stories these guys tell about how Verhoeven was on set is insane. I'm no
Was
spoilers. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but he
okay,
was just a
okay,
madman.
okay. I was so all right, let me I'll ask a question, a spoiler-free question.
Well, I can spoil it. Oh, who cares?
Well, it no. I don't want I want to watch that. I want to watch it. I just got a lot of things to do. I got, Dracula, I gotta find a DVD player
Oh
and
wait,
then get
but I
Bram
mean,
Stoker's
there's
Dracula
like
rolling.
you've seen RoboCop, so it's like basically
Yeah.
behind the scenes on RoboCop.
Well, I mean, like RoboCop struck me as a movie that like it was one of those classic '80s movies that like there was no like in any other point in time that movie would have never been made, or it just would have never finished production
Yeah, and that's something they talk
because
about a lot in the documentary episode.
it's awesome.
They're just like, this was bananas. There's no way anybody would have made this. And it was like, I think it was
We
over
should.
budget and stuff.
I, we might do a. That'd be fun. Fun do a RoboCop painting.
Oh
All right.
man,
We'll
that would be
put that on
awesome.
the list.
Yeah, list is getting long, my friend.
You know, did you know that the RoboCop poster was actually illustrated, was hand painted?
Oh, like airbrushed?
Yeah,
It looks,
and
it's
color
got that
pencils. Yeah,
airbrush kind of quality to it.
I thought it was
I
a
didn't know
photograph
that.
the
I
whole
thought it
time.
was a photo,
you know?
man.
Yeah, and Raw Deal was illustrated as well.
No kidding, really?
Yeah.
You got a raw deal.
I think if my memory serves me right, and I'm a little rusty, uh, John Alvin did that.
Oh, okay. The guy who did folks don't know in the chat, John Alvin did the official, not the unofficial, but the official Blade Runner movie poster. I'm gonna say it on the stream. Not my favorite. Not my favorite.
I was like gonna say, I was like, is Tyler gonna say it? I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
I don't,
You know,
you know what?
I don't
We
want
don't like Ray and I have an agreement. We don't like kind of we don't like taking the piss out of art, especially in our own genre in our own field, publicly. Like we kind of keep our opinions to ourselves when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah.
I think that poster is old enough that we can kind of be like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan. At least I can be. Maybe you love it. Maybe Ray loves it. I'm not a fan.
No. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna go no comment on that. How about that?
Oh wow, I've already risked myself. You're going no comment.
Yeah, you're out there. You're out on the highway.
I've risked.
You know,
The John Alvin
you're out in the
fans
middle of
out
the
there
highway.
coming after me.
Dude, I'm just gonna back up. Let's step Pete. Your fight is with Tyler.
Yeah. You know what? I can take it. Oh yeah, Justin Sweet says we gotta see the Batman movie. I know. I can't wait.
Dude, I gotta see that movie too. Yeah, I gotta see that movie.
I hear it's
I
nuts.
have so many. Yeah,
My friend Noah was messaging me the other day, freaking out about how. You remember Noah? He freaking out about how good it was. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. I gotta find time to do it, but yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, we got busy. We got busy stuff going on. We all do. You more than others, but.
Well, I gotta find my
Gotta find
my DVD player.
Yeah, you gotta find a DVD player and watch Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. Remember that?
Now, okay, so was it? Yeah, we talked about this, right? That like Coppola was also set to direct Pinocchio.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine?
I think it was Pinocchio, and I think
Do you think it was around the same time?
No, I don't know. I mean, wasn't it Ian McKay? Ian McKay, right? Or McKay?
Ian McKay.
Yeah, Ian McKay. Didn't he say that he was working on it?
Oh, I remember him mentioning something like that. That what I bet? I bet that was part of the So what happened is when he made Bram Stoker's Dracula, it was so different from any representation of Dracula. It's so like cutting edge with like incredible effects and this really beautiful depiction of Dracula and like what he could be as an interpretation from the original book, that it kind of led this little revival of like the classic Universal Monsters movies. So they like pretty soon after that they and I think Coppola worked on as a producer or something, but they made that new Frankenstein with not new. I mean, it came out in the '90s, but they made that Frankenstein with Kenneth Branagh and Robert De Niro as Frankenstein's monster. Um,
Oh
and
wow.
that was actually a pretty good one. I don't think it was as good as Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it was pretty good. Like it was new, it was weird, it was like a modern retelling, which is I think what was so successful of hold on here. What was so successful about Bram Stoker's Dracula? So yeah, it almost created like this revolution, and then it just pittered out. Like nothing really happened with the other Universal monsters. Like I don't think it was until the Benicio del Toro movie in like the mid 2000s that they made the Wolfman.
Wow. They've tried a couple of times to resurrect that.
Yeah, and I mean I guess they did the Mummies, but the Mummies were more like Sinbad-y and swashbucklery
Right.
than Bram Stoker's Dracula, which was like really mature and sophisticated and just beautifully done.
Well, Homeboy was gonna do Pinocchio, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that'd have been
And
cool.
have you read the original Pinocchio?
No, it's crazy, isn't it?
It is. I'm like, this, this is crazy. It reads like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, so it's supposed to be like a tale about like drug use or something, right?
I don't know. I mean, I
Or like a
listen.
cautionary
I
tale.
think I think Hunter S. Thompson was based off of Pinocchio, the original one. That's what I got away from
This is
that.
the conclusion that we're going with here.
Yeah, I'm like, man, life was hard back then.
That would make sense.
It's
I'd
crazy.
only
Drugs are
heard
bad,
recently.
kids.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'd heard recently is like it was like a cautionary drug tale because they go to the island and they're using all kinds of drugs, which doesn't come through in the Disney film.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. There you go.
All right, I'll read it. The
So you
one
have
thing I was talking with Kate earlier today was I want to like read more crazy old like fairy tales and stuff and do drawings off of that.
dude. I would that that is something. So yeah, we might have to talk about that
That'd be fun
because
stuff. Yeah.
I'm reading the original Robin Hood right now,
Okay.
and that's like that's got just visuals written all over it. And I'm just on the first page. I literally just started it.
That's some good stuff
Like
too,
I
because
it is
it's like one of
yeah
the few that and Arthurian stuff is like the most recent like legit mythologies.
right.
You have like all the mythologies that exist throughout the world throughout time, but the like most recent ones are Arthurian and Robin Hood because they're like right in the edge of medieval period and it's hard to know what really occurred, especially with Arthur. But with Robin Hood, it's like was this a guy? Was he actually a dude? It's hard to know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, because the backstory is so detailed. Like they tell you exactly where he's from, what a point in time in history everything went down, like
Yeah, man. Best way
who
to
his
make your
father
myth
was.
real is to add a bunch of history into it.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's pretty cool. I'm reading. So I got a bunch of classic illustrated uh, illustrated tales. Like a line of them that was uh, illustrated by Greg Hildebrandt
Oh,
in like the
sweet.
90s. So he illustrated all of these public domain things, and so Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland. You want to talk about like Alice in Wonderland is? Have you read the original?
No, no. I hear it's also
It
like
it
absolutely
is
drug
a
crazy.
it's like a drug tale told by somebody who's still on drugs.
Yeah, like they're just tripping.
Yeah, and it's just like what?
Don't do
It's like, well,
drugs, kids. Drugs are bad.
don't do drugs, kids. Yeah. Um,
Or do,
Pinocchio is a lot more
whatever you
meaner.
want.
You do whatever you want. This is
Yeah, dude, I'm
Livebrush.
not gonna tell you what to
I'm
do.
not here to tell you.
Um,
I'm just trying to learn how to paint. Okay.
yeah, don't
I
worry about
don't,
it.
don't come to me
You know what?
for advice.
While you're
Life
reading these
advice.
stories, man, you should you should just like, I don't know, like throw on Bram Stoker's Dracula into the mix. Then
Well,
you're reading
it's funny you
stories.
say that because he illustrated Bram Stoker's Dracula, and
Oh,
I
really?
need to get that one because I got Phantom of the Opera, but I don't have Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, sweet, sweet. Man, I don't know if you read
Yeah.
the book Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it's really cool.
No, no, I've never.
It's like,
This is kind of like the first time I've gone to the original because all of this stuff is unabridged, the ones that he uses.
oh, cool.
So
Well,
so
you
it's
might like it. It's
you
like a
know
1800s found footage. There's no narrative outside of reading people's diaries. It's pretty brilliant for the time it came out.
oh okay.
The whole story is told through the diaries of like Von Helsing, and letters written by Dracula, and then responses by Jonathan Harper, I think was his name, and Mina, his girlfriend, like, or his fiance. Like, that's the whole story. It's just reading their letters. You get the whole entire like events. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, Stabby Road Game says now I want to see movie quote unquote movie posters of these old. This is a cautionary tale about drugs kids books.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Lord Adorable says the original Frankenstein is also incredible. Yes, I so Tyler and I both have
Oh,
Bernie Wrightson's illustrated version of that,
yeah.
and
Check
that
it out.
is that's crazy. You know what's funny? I could flip back and forth to that book. I've done it like hundreds of times. I haven't read the damn story once. Isn't that crazy?
I think I read it in high school, but
So
that's
basically,
about
you've never read it.
it's about as it's like I don't even remember what happened. Essentially, there's like a monster. That's about all I know. Um, but yeah, it's I've flipped through Bernie Wrightson stuff a million times. Man, we've probably talked about this on the stream a whole bunch, but if you have not seen Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein, go get it now. You can actually get it from Dark Horse now, and it's still in print, right? They didn't. I don't know. It might be. I don't want to promise
I
that
think
it's.
so.
Yeah, it's
Well, Tyler
amazing.
says so. You putting
Yeah,
yourself out there.
I better call out.
So now you're gonna have people, the John Alvin fans and the people that went out there to try and buy it, by Bernie
Yeah.
Wrightson's Frankenstein, and
Well, remember, like
coming knocking
when
on
we
your
were in art
door.
school, you couldn't even find it.
No, and then they re-released it, right?
Mm-hmm. The Dark Horse put that black like cloth edition out. Like the covers,
Right,
it's a hardcover, but it's cloth bound.
right,
And it's got like the
right.
circular portrait of Frankenstein in the middle. Man, it's just jam packed full of perfect illustrations.
Pen and ink too, which is
Yeah, and
when you look at them, you're like, what? This wasn't scratch board.
you can really see it was like he was inspired by what, like Franklin Booth and Joseph Clement Cole, those
Yeah.
two guys. It's so good.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Speaking of that,
exquisite.
I
I
think
mean,
John's got a Franklin Booth book coming out. So
I heard that. John. We're talking about John Flesk, who also has another book coming out before that, on a certain artist you might know.
oh, me, I'm the one.
No, I was talking about Brad Kunkel.
Boy, man, I walked right into that one. Didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming.
Sorry, sorry, it's all right. I had to do it.
No, it was good.
I'm
It was
pretty
good.
sure I had that. I had that joke
You've had it for
I
weeks.
lined up for weeks and forgot that I had it lined up for weeks, and it just came out naturally. So, um, but yeah, so it is. It's almost time, right? It's the month.
For my book, yeah. So actually, according to the shipment, we should have all the books. Oh man, this week or maybe by the end of the week. That should happen. So stay
They should
tuned,
arrive at the
everyone.
warehouse, right?
Oh yeah, they should arrive at John's warehouse in Santa Cruz, and then it'll probably take everyone who's waiting on books. Sorry for the delays. We're just shipping from Europe, and the way things are right now, it's a little crazy. But they finally have arrived, and it'll probably take John and his staff some time to get them all boxed up and sent out to everyone. But it should be in the next month or so, or they. I'm guessing based on what John's saying, in either early this month or next month, early or late this month or early next month, they should all be hitting the mail. So. Okay,
Dude,
okay.
that's so exciting.
I got one here. I'm working like on a really tiny image. So, yeah, man, it's long in the making. I'm excited too. Oh, look. Thanks for the subscription, Kate Welch. She subscribed to tier
We're
1.
currently on a 2 month. It's like I like describing a Livebrush as like getting a tax refund. Only 2 month streak? That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's 3 or 4. But it's all right. Can you believe we've been going? This is the seventh
Like
episode. We're outpacing our first seasons right here.
we are?
I mean, what did we do in the first seasons? Did we only do like 8 or 9 episodes? I can't remember, but we're getting close.
It was a long time ago, man. Back in those days, I mean, seasons were really short, you know.
Yeah, it's like the reverse of television. Seasons used to be really long.
Well, that's exciting. I'm
Womp womp.
get get a real job. Kate Welch says, "Get a real job." You know, Tyler, I agree.
Yeah, man.
You should get a
What have you
real
been
job.
doing?
So, I'm pretty sure Kate Welch was directed towards you.
Oh, me. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been doing nothing but celebrating our subscriber, our resubscriber, recommitment. It's pretty
Oh
awesome.
boy, here we go. All right, I think I got something here. I'm gonna work off of this. I kind of like what's going on here. It's so tiny,
Dude, that's looking
Who
awesome.
can even see?
You know, it's funny you say that because I have so I've got the stream up in a window here, and it's reduced, and I could still see every single one of those thumbnails
Oh, okay.
perfectly.
I wanted to get small so that I could,
Yeah.
not get into too much detail.
No, man, don't even. Yeah. Do you know who John Burton is? The landscape painter.
Um, yeah, actually, I would think I was looking at some of his stuff the other day.
So I watched. So he's doing like concept art now,
Oh, really?
and he's
Cool.
not even oil painting. Yeah, I mean he does landscape painting, but it's like for research and stuff.
Wow.
It's pretty wild. But like, um, so he had this like there was this event where he was talking to this guy Eric Rhodes, who's like he's well known in the fine art area. He's like an editor, and he throws conferences, and and so he's super well known person in that circle. And so he always has a bunch of people on. He had David Dibble on
Oh, no
the other
kidding.
time, like yeah, and so like and he throws these huge conventions. I mean, like we're talking hundreds of like thousands of people attend these things. Um, so he had John Burton on, and John Burton was doing like Photoshop, right? But we're talking Photoshop with like the standard hard edge brush, and he was doing little thumbnails based off of references that he had taken, landscape thumbnails, and it was like revelatory.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
So he
it
was
was
not
yeah,
no like opacity or anything.
no, nothing, not even pressure
Oh, cool,
sensitivity.
cool. That's kind of like
He's like, I'm just
Sergei Kolosov does sometimes.
really he does that.
if you look through like his portfolio, he's got some images that are just no opacity, just like this crazy hard edge brush, and he builds the whole thing. I
Well,
like that. That's cool.
he says he got this from like um he does that. He does three value sketches, and he just uses three values. These little thumbnails, and it's just like he tells himself he works super small, just like you're doing, and his whole thing is like, how many shapes can I meld together? Like, how can I pull as many of these shapes together? Like, what shapes can I make so it's as simple as possible? And it just got me like revved up again about like it is all about simplicity, all about design, and all about grouping of shapes, and values to
Yeah.
the simplest
Yeah. Yeah.
forms. Like
That's awesome.
it's
I got to check this out.
yeah, yeah. I'll send you the video, and then you could watch that on the playlist along with the Jedi fight,
Yeah.
realistic fight thing, which I know you didn't watch because
No, I definitely,
you'd be
definitely haven't
texting
watched
me,
it yet.
dude. I can't, dude. Ray, you're so great, man. Yeah, thank you so
Definitely,
much
yeah,
for.
definitely haven't watched that. Probably never will. We'll see. We'll see though.
And look at that. Kate Welch has unsubscribed
Oh, nice,
from Livebrush.
nice. That was quick. That was quick. I thought it was gonna be more. Yeah, Lorna Adornable. The director's cut of the Lost season, Lost season 3. We'll never know. We'll never know. Maybe we'll release it. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's locked away in the vault next to a copy of the clown who died laughing, or what was that? Was that a Jerry Lewis film?
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. The just like never released.
Yeah,
What was that? Was it the
it's
clown who laughed, or no, that was like what
I
the
thought it-
Joker's based off of. I don't
oh,
know.
the Killing Joke. Yeah, you're talking about the Killing Joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, I know you're talking
No,
about the Joker's. Yeah, yeah,
his
yeah,
look,
yeah,
like his
yeah.
look is
I know.
based off that.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that dude. Yeah. Oh, off that movie, the Jerry Lewis movie.
no, the the look, like the, oh no, maybe it's not. No, I'm talking about the Joker movie. Is kind of, wasn't it based off of another, like inspired by another movie?
I have no idea.
You know what? I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't
Forget
know.
it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something else. Quick, quick. Anything.
Okay, Welch resubscribed saying, "You guys need production help."
Well, if we script this, it's going to be unnatural, so we can't do it. We just got to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
babble along.
Yeah. It's King of Comedy. Lord Donovan says, "I don't know, King of Comedy."
Oh man, I don't know.
Jeez, I don't know.
I'm gonna
I
look
don't
it
know.
up.
Now,
I'm
see,
gonna look
now,
it
now
up.
you pulled me into an area.
That Ray doesn't know
I
about.
was comfortable in my area talking about Brady Rice's Frankenstein.
We know all about that. The studio.
Talking about John Burton. So this is what I was getting at. So I designed. So I'm working on. I got a chance to work on some pieces in between my boring day of doing my taxes, and I was thinking about the grouping of shapes, and like I was thinking about how like man, Dean Cornwell and those guys, they were so good at doing that, and that's what made their work so strong.
Yeah, I mean they were like masters of it, and it's, I don't know. There's something. It's like when we talk about Blackshear, it's like that level of design, that like really
Yeah,
strong design sense.
it's kind of all about that. It's all about gesture and design, and you know, it just made. But the thing is, the more I understand it more now than I did when I was a student. Like I understood the concept, but how to go about implementing that and what to look for, Yeah, it's two different things because it sounds way simpler than it actually is. So, like, I was watching this John Burton um, video, and like, I wonder how many people actually got what he was saying because the stuff was like, he was doing super simple stuff. It was rudimentary. He was talking about carving back end shapes, and this is what he likes to do, and how he does it in oils with three types of tubes. They're called Portland Grays from Gamblin.
Oh man, I
And
remember those.
he's yeah, it's like Portland Gray light, medium, and deep, and he doesn't intermix them. It's just that's the values. And his idea is he does that and then white and black. And so if he needs to
Wow.
pick up a value, he'll pick it up, but he won't mix in between. If that makes any sense.
So it's like kind of the with those I think I'd mentioned him like doing those sketches in super limited values. It's like that essentially. Like you're just working from that.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what he's working from, and like he's doing this landscape, and his work is super impressive, and his thumbnails, they're not like I wonder if people thought that they were gonna see like these huge splashy oil paintings with like incredible brushwork and stuff, and like he just turned off all of those settings. And he's like, he showed his work. He's like, this is what I could do, but like, this is where the picture happens, and it's like it was the most, like comparison. It's like very unromantic, right? And so I don't know if people tuned out at that point because I was dialed in, big
Oh
time,
wow.
uh, because it was like, wow, this is meat and potatoes stuff here. Like this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like take note. Like I really got to take note of that. Um,
Man,
so
you
it
gotta
was
send
it
me
was
this.
super exciting.
I'll watch that before I watch the Jedi thing.
No, but one references the other, man.
It's part of a set.
Yeah. Yeah, Jacob Sweet said Rob Rupel's graphic LA book helped me so much on simple design ideas. Check it out. Yeah, Rob Rupel,
Oh man, yeah. Guy's
I
awesome.
think, is like the artist, you know. I mean, that man could is like a pure designer, and then at the same time can draw easily as well as Andrew Loomis. Like he's such a range. Like he was shown. I saw his. We ran into him in IllexCon, right? You remember that?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't get to actually
Yeah, I mean,
chat
he
with him
was
at
like.
all. Because I was manning my table,
I
but
chatted with him because he was. I got a portfolio review from him, and he rightly tore it up, but gave me like really great criticism. Like, but it was like, oh, it was a tough pill to swallow. But I knew, but everything was like, oh man, it was so dead on.
mm-hmm.
And he had just finished Uncharted. I forgot which one,
Oh, no kidding.
but
The
it was one of
the
the later ones. Yeah, and he
that would have been
skipped the
four,
rap
I
party, I
think, at
think.
that time.
Okay, so then it was four. Yeah, and so he was the art director there at Naughty Dog, and yeah, man, he showed up and like his sketch. He had some sketches, some figure drawings, and I was like, oh my god, like I had no idea who he was, and then I saw the Graphic LA book, and I would have brought a copy, but I was too broke, to afford one. I needed the gas money to get back home. I didn't want to get stuck you know, in the middle of a small town like Pennsylvania. But
Yeah, we were in Altoona for that.
yeah, Altoona. Yeah, shout out to Altoona. Um, F in the chat for Altoona if you know where Altoona is. And yeah, it's he is man, he is. I'm being
Way too
really
good.
descriptive now with
Yeah, with just
Rob RuPaul,
exclamations.
of course. Yeah,
We do this a lot, though. In
yeah.
Livebrush, we lose our minds over artists we like.
He's
We
so
actually got a
good.
question in the
Oh,
chat from a Nelson 1778. First time, welcome, welcome. Looking forward to the book. Thank you. Can't wait. Me too. What are you guys? What are you guys' favorite artists that are pre-20th century? Oh man.
Man, I love questions like this because it just gets me to talk about artists that are pre 20th century.
Do it. What's your favorite, man?
I mean, if we're gonna start like talking 19th century, late 19th century, I
Yeah,
mean,
dude, that's what we're talking about.
yeah, I'm starting off. I should. Who do I want to pick? Who do I want to start off first
Pick
with?
pick a good one.
Is it- Uh, I would say, well, we got to talk about Sargent, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a no-brainer, though, right? Like that's a
That's a
no-brainer.
no-brainer. I Soroya for sure, but like I'm man, Emile Friant. You've got Ernest Meissonier, the guy who did the Napoleon painting at the Met. Remember
Oh
that with
yeah,
the
yeah.
galloping
The one
horses?
that I got almost kicked out of the Met for. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll never forget that piece. Almost
Yeah,
got me kicked out of the Met. Actually, I was just referencing that because I'm working on a horse painting, and I was like, "Damn, I need Ray's help." So I was asking Ray if he had some suggestions on horse painting, and that was the one that came up.
yeah.
That one's
It's like
nuts.
the only horse painting I really know of. But you know how he James Gurney had a blog post on him about how he researched those horses and stuff. And did I tell you about this?
No, no, not at all.
So apparently he had like the scaffolding built in his quote unquote backyard. Okay, that was built on a train track that spanned the whole like length of this huge, estate that he lived in because he was super famous and stuff. Um, and uh, he would have like a rider in full on, regalia, Napoleonic cavalry costume, full everything, with the horse. And what he would do is he would study it by he figured out that if he could have the horse gallop and then have his assistants push the track with him on it because they built a special easel for him to sit at, he could see the horse galloping at the same speed.
No way.
And they would just push this whole thing all the way down and then they'd do it again.
My
And so
God.
he'd be there like kind of sketching, like trying to figure out like, oh, like seeing the movement.
So
Isn't that
that's why the
wild?
movement's so good in that, because it's some of the best
Yeah.
horse movement I've ever seen, and they're all like
Yeah.
they're all doing. When you look at horses forever, and you look at like jousting horses and war horses, they're all just like foaming at the mouth, man, breathing super heavy, and he gets that so well in that piece. All the
Oh
horses
my
are
God. Yeah.
they're like just their mouths are open. There's like they're foaming. Um, it's good. It's good.
It's like terrifying,
Yeah, I
in
mean
a,
the
in a
way those
great, in a
I
really
mean
dramatic way.
way those animals were treated too is crazy, and to get it to like come through that way, it's so authentic. That piece is good.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's. Of course, the takeaway is like, yeah, I think if we were in early on days in school, I could see certain people in school say, "You see, that's the way you got to do it." Like,
Oh, sure,
ain't
sure.
nobody have money for something like that, Like
Well, and it's
that's
like,
ridiculous.
yeah, it's like saying like you got to paint all your illustrations like John Singer Sargent or something. And it's completely
Or
different.
just yeah. I mean, he, yeah,
It's a
he never
time
worked a
thing.
day
He
in his
wasn't
life.
working as an illustrator. It's so different to like
No,
say that.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was so super different. I mean, like Norman Rockwell with one illustration was paid the equivalent of a mid-sized home, the cost of a mid-sized home back in his day
Yeah, I
for
was looking
every
that up.
you
They
know
were
yeah.
saying it was like $5,000 to $6,000 a painting back in his day, which is like 50 grand a painting.
You know what's funny? NC Wyeth was paid the same at the same rate for Treasure Island. Can you
No
imagine
way.
that?
Wow, that's nuts.
I
That's
mean,
nuts.
sign me up. Yeah.
How did I
Savvy
get?
Road Game said the only way to pay
Oh, go ahead,
But
man. Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna. No, you were reading a question, right?
yeah, yeah. But yeah, you do you answer it. You got it.
No, no. I just was reading a different one. Sam White was saying, how did I get? How did I almost get kicked out of the Met? Um, I I almost touched the painting. This is what happened. Almost touched the painting twice,
You know,
maybe three times.
yeah, I was gonna say twice.
I was
I was like,
excited.
I would think eyewitness reports would
Yeah, yeah. It was. I was.
would
Hadn't been
yeah.
to. It was like, I don't know, like one of my first times in New York City as an adult. I went to Society of Illustrators. I was excited, man.
Dude, yeah, it was that was a fun night. That was a fun night.
Yeah, it was
That was
great.
the night that I like felt that like wow, yeah, we ended the night like hanging out with like Greg Manchus and Mark Summers and
Oh yeah, that was the night Greg told us his Dune story.
the Dune story. Yeah,
We'll just leave it at that. No one's gonna find out.
uh, yeah, no one will find out. Lord of Dornival said disappointed. I was expecting something grander.
Oh
Well,
yeah, you know, me too.
it was terrifying. It was terrifying.
Ray was real embarrassed. He's like, "Dude, I'm from this town. What are you doing? You gotta."
They know me. They know me here
They know I'm not gonna
in
be allowed
Manhattan.
back in here to this this museum that you didn't pay any money to come into.
It's funny.
I donated. I
Now they're
donated.
charging.
I heard
You know
that. I
they're charging
heard.
now.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. That's too bad. But I guess I don't know. Why would they're just not getting enough state tax or something?
You know what? I am
Is
gonna
it
get into it.
politics? We don't need to get into it. If it's political,
We don't
forget it.
we don't need to get into it. You were told not to just back up just a little bit, and you had I could still vision your fingernail about to touch the horse's
No, I
face.
wasn't gonna touch
You
it.
were
I
that
was not
close,
gonna touch it. You putting this on me? Is
dude.
this? Are you
It was
putting
just
it that
like
you got to pay to get in on me?
I was 4 paces, I easily 4 paces behind you, and I had no problem enjoying the painting there.
Nah, I like to get up
And
and
then I
close,
kept,
man.
but you know what's funny? I had to like every time that you got closer, I took a step back to try and enjoy so like, it's like it's fine from here too.
So what you were doing was
It-
this is like putting a gray next to a fully saturated color. What you're doing is you're adding perspective. So the farther you stood back, the closer I looked, and the more they came after me. I get it.
right,
I
you
see what
got
you're
duped.
trying to do.
You got set up. You got set up. I got set up. It wasn't me.
I wasn't even
It
that
was the man from
close. Everyone just kept
Queens.
moving back. It made me look like I was really close.
You don't know. Oh god. You imagine that screaming that? It's like when you put a gray next to a saturated color. It's contrast.
And everyone in the room's like, "Yeah, I get it. His analogy
Yeah.
makes sense. We're at an art museum.
Free him. Free him.
Let
Yeah.
him go."
So that was the original tale, but we just wanted to,
Yeah, we should
we
actually
didn't want
spice that
to.
up from now on. It should be like I tried to take a John Singer Sargent off the wall,
Yeah, just to take a better look at it.
and Ray was like he like pushed the guard out of the way and like took his headset off so that he couldn't he couldn't communicate with the other guys, and like threw it
No,
on the
what do you mean?
ground.
Ray had nothing to do
Oh,
with
wait,
this. No, no,
you
no,
weren't
no.
involved?
This is all.
Oh, okay.
No, I was running down trying to call for help.
Oh, okay. You guys remember the Thomas Crown Affair? That's what it was like. Okay, it was like Thomas Crown Affair. I had a special
I was running
suitcase
the other
and I
way.
could fold the
Help.
painting up into. Ray didn't know it was there's a whole plan that I'd gauged out. I was like, Ray, I'm gonna come to New York. We're gonna go to the Society of Illustrators. Hey, maybe we could swing by the Met at some point. Just check stuff out. It'd be cool to see it. I haven't really seen this stuff. And Ray was like, yeah, well, totally. That'll be great. And then
Oh my
I planned the
god.
heist.
That'd be sick. It'd be like old like the Isabella Stewart Gardner. You would make a Isabella Stewart Gardner theft.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
a
that's right.
that was crazy. If anybody's ever want to hear about art thefts, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. And this I actually will throw shade at. Okay, has one of the greatest collections of like artists that I love, like Anders Zorn.
Mm-hmm.
They have the incredible John Singer Sargent paintings, Dennis Miller Bunker. They got all these like this is my
Wait,
wheelhouse here.
so wait,
They have some
this
really
isn't
great
the one in.
Rembrandts too.
Sorry to interrupt. This isn't the one in Boston that has like the whole John Singer Sargent room, is it? Because that's the.
Uh, no, the MFA has a John Singer Sargent room,
Okay, that's right. That's right.
but
Boston
this is
Museum
like
or
a
whatever it's called.
home. Yeah, it's the MFA, Museum of Fine Arts. Sorry, this one is like a home in quotes, and in the home in these rooms they have entire like incredible sergeants and like Sargent was a friend of Isabella Stewart Gardner. She was a patron of the arts, and he like when the museum opened, he as a press event, he painted like one of his famous portraits right there live, and you could
Damn,
just go and see Sargent paint. Isn't that crazy?
I can't even
And
imagine
you could
watching
step
him
in the room
paint,
where he
man.
painted. He painted it, yeah, and it was like I didn't even know. Like I remember the picture, the painting, but there I saw the newspaper clipping,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wow. I had no idea it was just like a special event thing. But regardless, yeah. I mean, like incredible collection. One of the worst art viewing experiences ever. And I don't mean to sound mean, but I think what happened was Isabella Stewart Gardner was very particular. So particular in fact that in her will she had explicit instructions not to change a thing. A
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Okay, I've heard of
Like
this now. I thought for some
right.
reason I thought it was in like
Yeah.
Philly or something. This is in Boston though. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like literally when they had to when they were upgrading the electricity and stuff, they had to kind of like figure out what the hell they were going to do because it would have meant changing something. So that's what they stressed out about. So and when the Rembrandt, so there was a huge art theft, and a Rembrandt and a bunch of other paintings were taken, but they were so like strict about like the whole will thing that being the way it is, like it being unchanged, and her vision being like of the museum being original as she intended it to be, that they left the frame because it was cut right out of the frame and rolled up.
Yeah, there's a documentary
And
about this. Okay. Yeah, okay.
yeah, so they left the frame as is, a blank, because they were like, well, no. I mean, Isabel Stewart Gardner said had explicit instructions
Oh,
saying,
jeez.
don't move a thing. Yeah, and so they eventually did move it, but it was like that for a long time, and yeah, but so because of that, it's like there's no track lighting. You can't see anything. Like it's so hard. They're like famous Zorns. There's a Zorn painting with like there's like this woman who's in like like well, it's like a trolley of some sort, and there's like she's in a black dress and she's looking kind of outside, and there's this like cash shot that's coming across. It's beautiful. Like if I showed you,
Yeah, I
you
think
would know
I've seen it.
exactly which
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Dude, that's in the Isabel Stewart Gardner Museum, and it was in the corner, and you could barely
Oh
make
my
it
God.
out because it was so dark.
That reminds me of
And
the
they
I
have like,
I went to a museum in Brussels, like the Brussels Museum, and they have that Jacques Louis David painting of the guy in the bathtub with
which one?
the one of the guy. He's like kind of
Oh yeah,
he's half written the letter.
yeah,
It's like
Death and
down at
Marat.
the end of a hall, like some random hall off in the corner. Like wouldn't even know it was there.
Oh my God, I thought that was in the Louvre.
No,
Oh,
I did too, but no, it's in
oh
Brussels.
wow,
All right,
wow.
what do we got going on?
Sorry, yeah, I haven't looked at the chat in a
Hey,
second.
Justin. Oh, sorry, Jacob. Not Justin Sweet. Jacob Sweet. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. I'm getting a visual development portfolio together. Are there any tips or advice that you would give to me to make portfolio stand out? I'm working towards video games and film. Good question. It'd probably be good. Oh man, here's the thing. I have a hard time giving great advice on this. Like, someone who would be really probably good to chat with would be like Carla.
Yeah.
Because she does a lot of
Or
work in
Rob,
that
or Rob
arena.
Rupel.
Or Rob Rupel, yeah. I'm actually hesitant to give too much advice on this. I would still stick with the same sort of advice we give on this show a lot, is to really tailor the portfolio to the stuff you want to work in. So if all I would say in that respect is if you're looking to do like video game work, like make samples that look like the video games you would want to work for, and make samples that look
Right.
like the films you would want to work for. So try to keep it tight as opposed to all over the place, because it's just like with an illustration portfolio. You don't want to have anything in your portfolio you don't want to do, because then you're just going to end up doing that kind of stuff, especially if it's good. So
Yeah.
think about, like, make samples of the stuff of movies, the types of movies that you would want to work on. Like, for example, let's say you wanted to work on a whole bunch of movies that were like Pirates of the Caribbean. You would make sure that you have an entire portfolio that's full of that kind of stuff. Or you want to work on stuff that looks like Game of Thrones, so you'd make sure you had a portfolio that looked like that kind of stuff. So definitely tailor it for those kinds of things.
It's so funny. We just had Eric Braddock in this stream a couple of episodes ago, and Denman, of course. Uh, and they're both like Denman's an art director at a video game and so is Eric. And it's just um,
Yeah,
so
these
they
guys
would
have
they would
been
have
great in
really
the
good
chat.
insights on that. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? It's like somebody wake Denman up.
Yeah. Demon, we need you on the stream.
Eric, come back. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I I'm gonna defer to you on that. I mean, yeah, it's I haven't really done any visual development outside of like concept sketches for a movie, a poster for TV. That's about it.
Yeah, it's like
So,
a, and I'm coming from like a kind of a, it's hard for me to like speak too much to a lot of visual development work, because I'm coming from having mostly done my visual development for tabletop games like Magic and D&D, and the solves there tend to be quite different actually than, we could go into the details on that, but like the solves for tabletop, especially for Magic, are a lot different than the solves that you would put together for video games and movies, because in movies you need to see everything from every angle. The same with video games, and oftentimes with video games you need like really really interesting stuff on the back, because you might be seeing the player or the character from the back most of the time. Like God of War is a good example of that. You see Kratos from the back most of the game, so they had to make his back look as interesting as his front. um, but those kinds of solves, that you don't have to do them as much for Magic, because most of the time you're only going to see the character on one card, so you don't really have to worry about his legs too much. You don't have to worry about um, his back almost at all, because you're almost never going to see a character from behind. If they're the only character you're seeing on the card, you're going to see them from the front. So it's all about like spending your energy in the right place, especially for visual development for Magic, where they have tight budgets and they need to get the card set out and all that kind of stuff. So video games and movies are going to spend way more energy on that kind of stuff, because they need to see that stuff at high fidelity, from all the sides, back side, front side, um, your classic complete turnaround. All that design work has to go in, much more than it does for Magic or D&D. D&D can even be less, because sometimes you're only seeing it in one book. So yeah, it's slightly different,
right.
and I'm hesitant to like speak too much on it for video games and
Well, I would
movies.
imagine too. I would imagine too that like for video games, your concept art also has to fit inside of a production pipeline. So it has to be something that's actually, efficient to model, efficient to, and then that will, because you're handing off the artwork to a lot of people who are uh, executing things in different mediums.
100%. Yeah, just like it would be in an animation studio. All the sketch
Right.
art stuff you're going to do ahead of time and all the design work is done far ahead of anything else because there's a whole pipeline production, which I guess you could say is the same for Magic because they have a pipeline, but it's a lot shorter than movies and television and video games. Like video games sometimes are 5-year projects. Movies can be even
I believe it.
longer than that sometimes. So video games are probably the longest.
But just because of the amount of artwork that has to get generated for a video game, I would like for God of War. Oh my God.
Yeah, or something like Breath of the Wild or Skyrim. These like
Yeah.
incredibly vast. I can't even imagine how long it took to get that stuff done.
Or Elden Ring.
Hey, Elden Ring. I've been playing that a little bit. It's very difficult.
You know, I had a student tell me that a huge, sort of a fan of the Souls games, like Dark Souls is their favorite game, right? And it was this will make you feel old. Made them want to get into art,
Oh wow, really? That's
right?
awesome. I have
Yeah.
huge
And so I
respect for
was like,
their
wow,
their
awesome.
designs. They're crazy.
So so uh they were saying how like so I had asked them like, oh, have you played Elden Ring? It's like, oh, I have. Yeah, it's pretty easy. And I
Oh
was like, oh man, I
no.
gotta tell Tyler. It's like I would say it's the easiest out of the group. Yeah, I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
oh no.
I'm so bad at it, man. It's like I'm just absolutely terrible. And I have some friends who are like really into it, and they're like, yeah, you just got to run and do this. And I'm like, I can't even fight the regular enemies, much less the bosses. Like I get killed by the regular enemies, and they're just like I watch them play, and they're just dodging all over the place, and their timing's like perfect. All their like swings are perfectly timed. That I can't even move around on my horse, much less. It's just it's tough. It's a tough game for me, anyways. Mold.
Well, listen, like I said, the last From Software game I played was Armored Core for the PlayStation 1. So
Oh my god. Yeah, was that like a hard game like the Dark Souls games or was it different? I don't even remember that game.
it was more RPG-ish, RPG action. It was difficult in a sense that like you customize things. It was, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I was really good, so
Oh,
at
okay.
least that's the
So
way I
you're like
remember it.
super good at it. Gotcha.
I was super good, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the best.
I was like a world champion player in it, but we don't have to get
You're a
into that.
world champion. Yeah, we don't think it. Man, I haven't gamed seriously in some time, in a long time. I think like it was like a couple of years ago that I had beaten Batman Arkham City,
Oh man, good game. Good game.
and that game was old by that time.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
It's hard
but
to
the
keep up
game
with them
still
now,
holds
dude.
up. It's so good though. It's like reading looking at an art book in motion.
I think that's the thing. That's why I'm kind of like frustrated with the Dark Souls games because I want to like experience all the crazy art. Like the designs are so phenomenal and beautiful and weird, and just the strangeness, but like the incredible proportions that they put into everything. But I can't because I can't get. I have to like watch a playthrough on YouTube or something because I can't get that far into the game. I have to earn the art.
You gotta earn the art, man. Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, uh,
I'll have to
yeah. I
check
have
that
like
out.
I bought uh Elden Ring has a photo mode apparently, and it makes enemies not kill you. What?
Yeah, I'll have to
All
look
right,
into that. That sounds cool.
that's how you beat the game.
Yeah, it's over. Just photo mode
Uh,
everyone.
so I mean I have there get so many games I want to play. Um, that have just such beautiful art. Like I was playing, I bought all of them, all of the Tomb Raiders. I barely played any of them.
Oh yeah, those
Like
are my first like
I'm
PC
dying.
gaming experiences.
Like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and
Would you
the
get them
other.
on PC?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, you'll
You
get
know
to
it,
them,
man.
dude.
I
You'll
got a
get to
thirty
them.
ninety. I got a 3090. So
Hey, you gotta use
I
it.
was like, yeah, let's do it. Gotta use it. Gotta use it. You know. I was playing Doom, not Doom Eternal, but Doom, the first one. Man, the artwork is so good.
Oh wait, Doom One, the original Doom, or what are you
No,
talking about?
I mean not like the original, like John Romero Doom. I'm talking about like the 2000 and whenever.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Dude,
Nice, nice.
yeah, that yeah, it's software did or Betshida. I don't remember. I don't know who that,
Oh
but
yeah, I can't remember who
it's
did
the one
them,
with the
but
yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Let's see. Lord Adornable said, question for you both. This is a good one. How much time do you spend working on art each day, and how much free time you guys have to spend on things like, endlessly dying to random mobs and Souls games? That's funny. Um, so I, uh, so my personal life is pretty hectic, and my schedule is usually packed as I'm doing a lot of things, and so really all my free time is uh, doing art, and I get the time that I'm not doing art, it's few and far between. So it's, I don't really, I used to have like maybe 1 or 2 hours of, on Thursday nights that I would play video games. That was about it. But now those are just basically doing other projects, because drawing and socializing with other people online. So I do a lot of illustration isolation and things like that. So I'm completely uh, like just sunset to sunrise type of artist. So that's the problem with those games. I really want to do that. I really want to experience those games. Like I want to get. I wish God of War were in on PC. Oh no, it is on PC. Oh
I
my
think they
God, yeah,
just put
it's a
it out
really
on
good
it. Yeah,
version of it.
dude, you gotta play
Yeah,
that.
so like I want to. See, that's like I want to play those narrative games. I just don't have. I just don't have the time, But dude, you're just swamped all the time too, right? I mean, like
Yeah, I try and squeeze in
so.
like a little bit of time, like to kind of wind down with video games. But even with Elden Ring or like a TV show or something, it's not much each day, which is probably why I'm not so
Right.
good at Elden Ring and games like, because I'm not like dumping in hours and hours and hours. If I'm gonna, sometimes I got to get away from a screen. So if I am like not doing work, I'm trying to read something, or like actually like we were saying earlier, like I'm trying to learn Spanish, so that's like I try and spend half an hour to an hour every day working on that. So I just sprayed myself with my drink in the face. So there's some good content for you there,
And you become
folks.
yeah, yeah. You splash yourself in the face with your drink.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. Lucky my little headshot's tiny, so it's all over me.
Oh no, everyone saw it. Everyone's seeing it. So uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, I did see that, Jacobs. In the beginning, yeah, if you go down the hole, there's like a little tutorial. I jumped down there. I managed to not miss it.
see, I want to like that's so. I'm like, oh man, I gotta. You see, the thing with me is like with those games is I remember. I mean, at the time I was playing Arkham City, I had some time, and it was the summer, and I was like, I'm just gonna, I could spend the evening just doing this, doing like one thing, uh, but it's hard because like it's like, well, if I only have, sometimes my 2 hours is just like a half an hour. Now,
Yeah,
it might be
yeah.
20 minutes. Like one day I had like 15 minutes, right, free. It was right before a meeting that I had to jump on, And I was like, 15 minutes, what can I do? And so I was like, I could pop up some Rocket League. Let's do
Mm-hmm.
this. And I was, and I'm like, yeah, I could do this. I could do. I could squeeze in a game. And I was all giddy, excited. I launched Steam, and it took like 10 minutes to update, and then Steam to update, and then Rocket League to update. It was like a 2 gig update, and I'm like, up, and we're done.
Yeah, by then it's taken the wind
So,
out of your sails. You're out of time.
yep, yep. So I
Dude,
was
and
out of
that,
time.
you know what?
So
To be honest, like, okay, I love these games, and they're great. But sometimes it's like a huge time sink when you could be making cool stuff. So sometimes you gotta weigh it. Like,
well,
you either
that's
use it to decompress
yeah,
or don't get like sucked into it, because then you're not going to get any cool work done.
right. And that's really like I also have like a sense of urgency that I just want to make as much cool stuff as possible. I'd rather, if I'm gonna have like I'm coming up with some, my schedule's gonna free up probably yeah in the summer a lot more because I'm not teaching as much um, so and then I'll be yeah so it'll I'll have a little bit of free time like just a touch but I'm gonna be spending it either outside outdoors doing stuff going in the woods and stuff or learning a new skill like I really want to actually learn Blender, legitimately learn Blender. And I have these courses, they're ready to go. I just have to sit down and actually do it and be in a space where I can practice it. So
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
comes, I have such a, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm to a point now where I want to be a producer and and I mean, art for me is when I'm not, doing like client work or stuff for a show if I'm just painting it's fun and I don't get that as often but when I do uh, I like to do it so because it brings me a lot of joy so I want to just be a better producer of those images so I guess that's what you're kind of alluding to that right
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways there's, I don't know, there's like using, like if you're playing games and stuff, using it to decompress is awesome, but it's easy to get like super sucked into it, at least for me, and then I'm like, I'm gonna be only thinking about that. I don't know, it just like gets in the way of my creativity a lot of the time. So I have to like
yeah
shelf it. I have to
yeah
really shelve it and get back into making work. Like I'm not saying like only do work, never do anything that's recreational.
oh yeah
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for me, like it can really take over and become a huge time sink for me. So I try to like keep it pretty limited, and it's all right if I miss whatever cool game is out. I'd rather make cool stuff. That's just kind of the thing. I think Kate and I have talked about this a lot. Like we'll watch like a show for an hour, and then afterwards we're like, I feel like I could have been making cool stuff while I was doing that, and I feel like that feeling has come up a lot more and more.
yeah it's 100% that's me right there. It's like I really wish I should have done spend more time with my loved ones or like feeling bad like I should have spent more time with them or I could have been painting and there's so many things I want to do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
excite me more. Um, but I'm not. I mean, I don't want to shit on. I'm not shitting on video games, man. That's what made me want to become that in comic books, man.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying bad things
So
about it either. I'm just
yeah,
saying this is
yeah,
just how I personally feel about it sometimes.
yeah.
I mean, I'll even feel that way
We're
kind of like
just
a movie, man.
lamenting.
I love movies. You know,
Yeah.
I'll feel like that with a movie. So
So basically, we wish we could game more. Can't. I love talking about them though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even if I'm not catching, same with movies. Like even if I don't catch everything, I love chatting about them. It's the whole point of the stream. It's for us to talk about movies.
Uh, Sorry, I'm just putting a lot of thick paint on this highlight, and I don't want to screw this up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I figure every once in a while we're gonna get like really deep into
Yeah, but I like talking when I'm
about
painting.
painting.
We spent most of our friendship doing that.
Yeah. All right, we got a question from
Oh,
Tyler Vale Art. Okay, do y'all think about retiring, or do you think you'll be making art until you can't? And is art just what you do if you can do anything? Yeah, I don't think I'll ever retire. It's just the only thing I want to do and the only thing I enjoy really doing all the time, and hell, I can't do anything else. Yeah, I
yeah.
think
No,
Ray, you've talked about this, right? Like our retirement's going to just be when we can't paint anymore. Like when we physically can't do it.
bas- yeah, basically, I'll be painting like if I quote unquote retire, I'll just be working on painting. I might not paint nearly as much, but I will be painting, just painting the stuff that I really want to work on. That's where my retirement is basically. So, yeah, no, geez, I can't even imagine not painting. But there's some artists. I mean, it's not like there's some artists, or just not creating, I should say. But there are some artists who, are I mean, incredible painters, and they're like, no, they just do it to make a living because they want to do it, and that's totally fine. And then they said, their idea of retiring is if they have enough money to just work in their sketchbook and never show again. They could care less, So
Yeah.
it depends on, there's no right or wrong way to do this. I mean,
I mean, I know some artists that are amazing and they don't even, it's not their main, like, they wouldn't have picked being an artist again if they came up in the,
wow.
they would have been like sports players or I don't know, just not art. And then I'm like, you're incredible. But this isn't like the main thing you want to be doing. They're like, I wish I wasn't doing this at all, kind of thing. So there's,
Wow.
it's
Frank
interesting to
Frazetta.
me that, what's that?
Frank Frazetta.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Frazetta, what he said
Like,
he wanted to be a
yeah,
baseball player or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. It's like, I should
Couldn't,
have played baseball. Could have done art anytime I wanted to.
and if he would have done that, he wouldn't have been as good of an artist as he was. So
No. I don't think there would have been a Frank Frazetta, but
it's just interesting to
just
see,
that
to hear
timing and the
that.
people that he was around.
Like this is all I've ever wanted to do, and it's all that I do. So I guess it's just different for everyone, of course, but
Right.
it's just always interesting to
I mean,
hear
it's,
that.
yeah. Jacob Sweet said we should all pitch in and get Ray a Steam Deck so he can play God of War for 20 minutes at a time. Jacob, I appreciate that. That
Steam
is like,
Deck.
I was looking at the Steam Deck, right? Because I'm a big, like, I've always wanted to. I love video games. I've grown up loving them. I was a huge gamer when I was a kid. Like that's what I wanted to do is do art for video games, and be an animator, but like work in video games. And so
Yeah, yeah.
I was the guy that would sit in a video game and I would just stare at textures and go into
Mm-hmm.
camera mode, or like like Gran Turismo. I would just watch the damn replay over and over again so I could see
Yeah.
how like the reflections were. I was like, it's incredible, right? Um, I of course I get the chance to. I get a PC. I decide to get a PC, switch over from a Mac, and I'm like, all right, I need to get a good. I want to get into 3D. I need to get a computer that I don't need to worry about limitations. So, Tyler and I, we actually happened to need computers at the same time, so we ended up getting these computers, and they got the nice graphics cards in them. And I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna download some video games, with all this free time I have. And long story short, I'm like, oh no, I want graphical fidelity. That's what I want. I don't want things like the Switch. I don't want it pared down. And nowadays, I look at the Steam Deck and Jacob. I'm like, that sounds like a really good idea. I could just whip this thing out, play for 20 minutes, and put it right back.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my pocket, and just in between bites of pizza.
This is
While I'm
why
rushing off to the next thing.
I love the Switch. It's just like it's been one of my favorite consoles because of that. Like I can just pull it out, play something, put it away. Can take it with me if I'm traveling. It's like the most amazing console because of that.
They gotta they gotta upgrade that hardware though.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
mean,
need
I
to.
imagine they will, but
They're selling like crazy.
if it's a
But that's why the Steam
stylized
Deck's
game, then
so
it's
interesting
great.
because it's right. I love the Switch, by the way. My brother has one, and it's
Oh, you're
like,
shitting on it right now, dude. And I can tell you're shit talking the Switch.
I knew it. I should have backed up. I'm talking about this. Well, the Steam Deck is like, oh, PS4 graphics level. Like you could do it on the
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
and it's
You heard it
And of
here,
course now I'm
folks.
a PC Master Race.
Ray hates the Switch.
Ray
You heard it
thinks the
here.
Switch sucks.
Ray hates Nintendo, actually, by extension. So
Oh no, no way! I'm such a huge Nintendo fan.
yeah, I
Oh
mean, they hit
God.
it out of the park with the Switch. It's just killer.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could stand some better. Like I got Skyrim on it, and I was like, oh, whoa, it was hard to look at. Like it could stand to have some better graphics.
Yeah, yeah. They're coming out with stuff though. I'm sure they are. They just don't, I mean they don't need to though in a way. I mean they sold so many of them. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's time to just keeping up with the Joneses sort of thing. I mean now we're in the next generation. But what do I know? I just finished saying that I barely have time for playing video games tonight. My last game that I've actually fully completed was like 37 years old, by the time I played it, Batman Arkham City. So it's like,
Uh,
don't listen to
hey
me.
guys, I just beat Super Contra. I just beat it.
You know what? It's funny you say that. So when I got a computer back in 2017, it was like this 27-inch iMac, and it was like, man, first time I hadn't bought a computer in 10 years. Isn't that
Yeah, yeah,
crazy? I was doing like professional work for 10 years, but my laptop lasted that long, and so
yeah. That's right. That
and it
thing's
worked
a
fine. It was
beast.
just slowing down. Yeah, and so like I was like, all right, um, I'm gonna just. The first thing I got was my brother. My brother had showed me the what's it called? It was basically just an emulator thing. I forgot what it's called. I have it upstairs. Um, Loaded all these Nintendo games, and I'm like, just got into retro gaming big time. And my brother and I were talking, and I was like, you know what? I always wanted I just want to go in and beat the games I'd never beat before, or I've never played before. And so I got into a huge Castlevania kick,
Oh man,
and I beat every single one of those Castlevania games on Nintendo, every single one,
I still
and
want to
on
beat
Super
those, man.
Nintendo.
Cause I'm
Dude,
a
they
huge
are
like I'm
so good.
like a massive Metroidvania fan. Like any game that's like Metroid or Castlevania, I'm for it. And I've never played the original Castlevania games. I played all the
They
Metroid
are
games.
completely different well, they're completely different in game design, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the exception of the second one's very Metrovania, but yeah. Um,
But I like Metroidvania games so much, like Ori and
yeah.
Hollow Knight is yeah, Jacob, absolutely. Hollow Knight is awesome. And it's got like a Dark Souls feel to it, and the bosses being like nearly impossible. But that I like those so much that I really need to go back to the source material.
Yeah. That's like I'm like you got to go back. I think the greatest Castlevania of all time, and this is super controversial by the way.
Uh-oh, hot take coming at you.
Okay. Is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. I don't think there's a better game than that.
Dude, I have no way to speak to this. I got to play these games. I got to.
It had the best music. Oh my god, it was I called my brother after, so I would take I would take a photo on my phone, like a video of all the endings, and send it to my brother. I'm like, I'm done with the first one. I'm done with the second one, right?
Dude,
And
how would he react? I
I
mean,
called him.
I can imagine how Francisco would react, but how would he? What
He
would
was
he?
he was like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like, "How'd you get past that?" Like, what do And when I get into something, I'm like obsessed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so like it was, yeah, he was freaking out. He was just laughing because he was like, I couldn't get past, like, this is, I mean, Castlevania is hard, man. Uh, it's not for the I don't know how kids beat it, because I needed every single one of my fully developed motor skills to actually succeed.
I don't know. I kind of felt
Um,
that way about like if you go back and play like the original Metroid or the original Zelda. It's like, how the hell did
oh yeah,
anyone beat this? That's all we had. We had to be good. We had to
but
become
I gotta
good.
try. I, you just have to get right. You just had to get good. You
Get
know,
good.
there wasn't a time. Yeah, but I gotta try Hollow Knight, man. That's another one. Like,
Well, maybe on Steam Deck. I
I'll
think
probably.
I got it on the Switch, and it was killer. It's super fun, man, and it's really fucking hard. Excuse my French. We don't swear a lot on this stream, but sometimes we do. Cover your kids' ears.
Yeah, Ray beat Rex Verdi said Ray beat Pong. Yeah, exactly. That's basically how that was my goal.
Yeah, he beat it.
Was
He
to go
won.
back. I won
That's like
at
winning.
tanks and
It's like
boxing,
winning on Donkey Kong. It's like you just get to an error screen.
dude. That's a funny thing about like to think that video games back in those days just never ended.
Yeah, like Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man or whatever. It's like
Yeah,
there's no way to win. It's just you get to a
th-
point where it just errors.
right. It's just that the whole game you have to break the machine. You have to break the computer,
Like that in
the will
itself
of the
is like if you
computer.
can get to the error screen and somehow win.
Yeah, does not compute. Like, I always think about that Star Trek uh, TOS, like Kirk and that computer that's like, you remember that one?
Yeah, where he doesn't he say
When he's like,
doesn't he use the line like you're in error in like a multiple episodes to like take down some big AI?
yeah, but this was the episode.
The one, yeah.
This is actually this is the evidence that our good friend Eric Johnson sort of referred to in his very lengthy court case. It was a huge argument to say that to say who would win in a fight, Kirk or Vader,
Oh god.
and
Yeah, this is back when these
he
were
had said
fresh.
Kirk will yeah. This is absolutely, like, it's like Captain Kirk, no question about it. It's like he killed a planet killing, like a world killing. He convinced a world killing AI to blow itself up. Huh? Think about your son.
You're
I
in error.
remember he was like, think about your son. You were a man once.
I've had it for 500 years. Man, that was the
Uh,
thing. I think we were watching that. We were watching those. Yeah, we were watching the original episodes, and then like a few years later, we were still in art school when like the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie came out, and
yeah,
I loved it. I
we
loved it.
were.
Everyone, I'm going to say it right now. I loved it. It was everything
Yeah,
they could have done correctly with the original crew. But then
yeah.
I don't know if we were still in art school when it came out, but then the second one, the con one, came out, and I was so pissed with it because it was, first of all, terrible. Second of all, it was just like a horrible rehash of the best Star Trek movie ever, which is Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. We can have a different debate about that later. But the other one was like they made Khan into, like, I know Khan's a superhuman. He's super strong, but he's not like Data strong, like Ben Bars and Half Strong, which is how they presented him when Cumberbatch played him. White Englishman Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan. Um, And like you go back to the original episode, what Space Seed, and Kirk beats up Khan with like a plastic pipe that he pulls out of the engine room. He beats
There's
up
a space
Khan.
pipe. There's a space pipe, Tyler. Okay.
Anyways, I'm screaming into the mic. This is gonna be wet. The levels are gonna be all screwed up. So I'm freaking out here.
He,
Everything was
he
wrong with
could have
that
killed
movie.
him. But he did it. He let him go. This is City of High.
This
Oh
is
my
City Alpha
God.
5. Yeah, what a great movie.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Yeah, no, we saw that. We saw the original, the first Star Trek, J.J. Abrams one at the Alameda Theater.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We walked out and we were loving it. We loved it.
Yeah,
It's great.
I was like, we were like, hey, I would have loved something a little bit more cerebral, but
Sure, sure.
like that spoke to more. But this is how you get Star Trek back in the mainstream, and it's perfect. It
Yeah,
was perfect for that reason.
that's the thing. When you put,
Um,
and I think I could make the same exact argument for TNG. Like when you put Star Trek on screen, the stakes got to be really high. They got to be really cinematic. You can't do like a quiet cerebral episode, like you would have done in TNG.
yeah,
You just can't do it.
yeah.
That's
No,
why they never did it
it's
with
just
the original series movies either. It's just they were all big deal.
right. Yeah, totally. I mean, the first one's pretty cerebral.
But what was that one? What was that
You
one?
didn't watch the first one, so how would you know?
Oh, what was it? What was it? Was it good?
Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Yeah, Bob Peak did the
Was it?
movie posters. You ever heard of him?
It was good. It had a good premise and everything. Like it wasn't like a dumb premise or anything like
Wasn't a
that.
dumb premise. It was better than Saving Whales. Nothing against whales.
How dare you talk about Star Trek 4 like that? Leonard Nimoy wrote that movie.
I know he did. He did. But you've told me I went off the rails when I started pleading my case for. I started saying that the premise for Star Trek 5 was actually kind of incredible, which I
Yeah.
still maintain that.
It actually is kind of good. I'll agree with you. The Star Trek 5 premise is kind of good, but everything else that goes on is so horrifying. I don't know. They shouldn't have let Shatner direct one of those.
Thanks, Jacob. Thanks. It was somebody else that said something really nice about my painting. Thanks. Yeah. So we're just adding some more colors, turning on the lights here. So it should be a lot of fun. Daryl Ritchie, great work, gentlemen. Fellow magic
man.
artist Daryl Ritchie.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey, man.
Great,
Thanks
great
for joining
artist,
us,
everyone.
man.
Check out Daryl's work. Awesome stuff.
Daryl, put your
Yeah,
website in the chat.
Yeah, throw it in the chat.
Dude, seriously, yeah. A Stabby Road game said a bunch of Castlevania games were either re-released or re-released on the DS. Yes, my brother
no
got
kidding.
them.
Yeah,
A few of them. Yeah, he picked up a couple of them. Like they redid the Game Boy Castlevania.
Oh, okay.
Belmont's Revenge or something like that. I had it on Game Boy. That was the only Castlevania game I actually had growing up. I had all the Game Boy games, and I couldn't beat that.
They put them
Go
on
figure,
the Nintendo, like the virtual console thing. It's not the virtual console. That's like the Nintendo Switch, like subscription. I think it's called Online, but they have a lot of the Castlevania games on there now.
They put Nintendo 64 games on there too, right?
I think they just put the emulator for 64, and it caught a lot of crap because the most famous game you could play on it obviously is going to be Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and the rendering was super bad apparently. Like the engine port that they put over was terrible. They fixed it, I think, now.
Oh no!
But
Okay.
there's this like area of Ocarina of Time where you go to this like foggy place where you kind of have to fight like a mirror version of yourself, and it wasn't even rendering the fog. Like it wouldn't render the fog at all. So it looked really bad. If you look up like screenshots of it, it looked awful. But I think they fixed it.
Okay. Yeah, my brother, we had it like around the time that Ocarina of Time came out, but we never. We had a neighbor that bought it, but we were big time Rareware uh, games people. So like Jet Force Gemini, and
Oh, cool,
I
cool.
mean GoldenEye. Everyone played GoldenEye, but like
I was
Perfect
a
Dark.
I was a
Um,
huge Zelda fan, man. I would buy Nintendo systems for Zelda games.
yeah, I don't blame you, man. That's what sells those systems, man. It's like,
You calling me you calling me derivative? Is that, are you saying I'm plain? You calling me simple?
hey, we had a GameCube, and my brother brought it because of Wind Waker, which I think
Oh,
is one of the most beautiful
it's so
games to
good.
this day that I've ever seen, man.
I will argue, and now I think like Link to the Past on Nintendo 64. I mean Nintendo 8-bit, the 16-bit, sorry, the Super Nintendo, and Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild are probably like the three best. But Wind Waker is so good in its like styling and like simplicity. Man, if I would argue it's one of the best Zelda games of all time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's well, there are people that say Majora's Mask is better. Yeah, Lord
Yeah,
Evil
that's a good
says
one.
Majora's Mask is better. Fight me, and that is a crazy premise for the
It's
game.
so good. It's
Like,
hard to it's
and
hard to pick. They're all good.
but you ever play Jet Force Gemini though?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I remember Perfect
Man, yeah.
Dark.
So Stabby Road said, "Yeah, my brother and I used to play that all the time. I was two players. Yeah, it's a single player game but you can, if you had a second controller, you could play as like there's a little robot. No, actually, no, you could play two players. You could play two players, but there's certain
Oh,
areas
okay.
where there's like a little robot that follows you. There's like a little robot companion. I think if I'm remembering it correctly, and the second player can hop in and pilot that robot,
Oh man, that's amazing. I
which
don't
is
know
like
if I played that.
sick. Yeah.
We played so much
Um,
GoldenEye though. It's hard to even remember what we played. That wasn't GoldenEye.
no, I believe it. Um, yeah, I mean, like we're talking the Donkey Kong 64. That was another one that was I
Mm-hmm.
thought was like stunning. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of all that stuff. And the GameCube I loved because it had like, of course, like Star Wars Rogue Squadron, the Rogue Squadron that came out on the GameCube. That was
Mm-hmm.
one of the launch titles, and like what else did we play? We played a bunch of stuff. The one thing we didn't play was I didn't get to play was I played Star Fox, but I never got to play Star Fox Adventures, which is like a cult classic.
Oh yeah, I don't think I played that either. I can't even really remember GameCube games other than Wind Waker.
You know what happened? You know what happened to that game? That was actually a game that Rare was developing called Dinosaur Island or something like that. And
No
Shigeru
kidding.
Miyamoto was like, "This game looks great. Why don't we put Star Fox as the main character?" And they were like, "What? What?" And so they just put Star Fox in and wrote him in, and he's like in this bizarre dinosaur planet, and people are like, "What the heck is this story?" It felt like
Super Mario Brothers
it was
2.
like almost, yeah, it was like the modern day version of that. Like again, Shigeru Miyamoto were like, "What do we do? Nobody likes you know, we don't got any more material." You have you ever seen the
That's nuts.
gaming historian on YouTube?
No, no, no. Sounds
Oh
good.
my God, he excellent, excellent, well produced, well written um, uh, episodes, and he did one on Super Mario Brothers 2, like the story about it, and about how like it was a reskin of a game, Doki Doki Panic, and like how the original Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2 was basically, which I didn't know, was it looked exactly like Super Mario Bros. 1. It was just harder, and
Oh,
that was the
really?
game. And
Really?
people were, yeah, yeah, and people were complaining like, "Hey, this is kind of hard," I don't, and it just looks
Kind of like
exactly the same. I don't know, guys. I don't know if this is gonna sell. And so they were like, "Ooh, okay, what do we do?" And Doki Doki Panic was uh, in development around that time and completed, and they were like, "Why don't we just take this thing and just reskin everything and design a couple of things differently, and boom, make it a Mario game."
dude, it was so different. That was the crazy thing about it. The music was
Yeah,
different, the gameplay style was different, the fact that you could pick different characters was weird. I don't know. Everything about it was it paid off, but obviously it gave them enough time to like figure out what to do with 3 Mario Brothers 3.
Totally. Yeah. Yo, Sword. That's another one, man. Oh yeah, that was.
Oh,
You play that one?
I did. I mean, I've never missed any of the Zelda games. I hated that one. I hated it.
What?
I couldn't stand the mechanic that
Oh,
they
that was the one
did.
with the. Was that the Wii controller one?
Yeah, the it was just way too like heavily, like the game design was too heavily geared towards the fact that you use this thing as the sword, and it, I don't know, I didn't like it that much.
Right. You know, Star Fox had that issue too with the Wii U. Geez, my brother got all of the Nintendo systems out. I'm thinking about. He never got the Wii, but he got the Wii U, which could play Wii games.
Yeah, I got them
And
all really. I haven't missed one except for
so did you?
Virtual Boy. I never got that one.
Oh, I think I played that one.
Yeah, the
My
headset
next door
one.
neighbor had, dude, my next door neighbor had a Virtual Boy. Yeah, yeah, isn't that
That's awesome.
crazy?
That's awesome.
I think I played tennis, which is now like a super rare game.
I think
Um,
the console itself is pretty rare.
yeah, it is bizarre. It was bizarre at the time,
I'm just checking to see
but
if
I was
we
like, this is
lost
the.
any. Okay, good. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
It was, dude, that was looking great. I just stood over your screen.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to I don't know. I'm bringing this guy up to some more fidelity, and sometimes I like to just use this. As you can see, I have this big like flat brush that just has some texture on it. It's like square. I like to just use this to do like all the painting, and it helps me
That's
kind of like,
awesome.
because it's square, I can like carve out forms and just make stuff up as I go, which I like to do sometimes without like screwing around with reference and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like leaning in to stare into to see
I'll zoom in.
what the character is.
Well, we'll never find. We'll never know.
So, can I guess, or is that no? You don't want me to guess.
You can guess if you want, but I don't know if you've read the book I'm reading, so it might be hard.
Okay, well then, no, 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 I know I'm wrong.
He takes it back immediately. I'm not even going to say what I'm reading yet because I don't know if this is right for what I want to do with it. So
Yeah. Harp by Sam White said, "What fake Nintendo fan doesn't even have the Virtual Boy?" Yeah, exactly. Jacob Sweet, yeah. So the Virtual Boy took so many batteries. Yeah, that was the thing. It was
it
like
was like the big
an
D
absurd amount
batteries,
of
right?
battery. Oh yeah, they were huge. Yeah, yeah. You know, so like, um, yeah, it is nutty. You know, the thing was a migraine machine. That's funny.
Crazy
Uh,
to think though that like a virtual headset game from like 1995 or whatever.
they're ahead of the time, man. They're willing to take a swing.
Yeah,
So
they went for it. I appreciate it. It's like
they
Temple
went
of
for
Doom.
it, man.
They went for it.
Yeah, Star Trek Five. It's just technology
God
couldn't
damn it.
keep up with Shatner's vision.
Yeah. Yeah, they just couldn't. He's beyond. He's a spaceman. You know.
Oh God, I feel your pain. Share it with me. Oh, that was such a good scene.
I liked there was a little bit of con going on with the way he was like they were throwing each other around or he was throwing Kirk around the shuttle bay, um,
Yeah,
and like he was like smashing into clearly foam core shuttlecraft. It was good. It's good
was that
stuff.
the one they had? Like they had such little. They like the budget was cut so badly that they were reusing old costumes from the previous movie. So like they had to shoot from specific angles because some of those
Oh
costumes
yeah,
'cause they were so messed up
some of them too. If you go
from
back and watch it, are
shooting.
from TNG. They're from the television show.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah.
the first season of TNG used some clips from the movie, right?
Um, I'm
or
not
some special
sure.
effects or something like that,
Maybe,
or the
maybe
other
I
way
can't
around.
remember. I know that that the first movie for TNG, Star Trek Generations, used the exact same footage of a Klingon bird of prey being blown up
That's
from
what it
the
was.
the movie right before it, from Star Trek 6. They used the same exact
Oh
footage.
my god.
They didn't mirror it. They didn't like change the color or fidelity or anything. It's the exact
Oh
same
my
footage.
god. Which I will say, Star Trek 6 for me is the best Star
It's
Trek
so
movie.
good. It's so good.
Like, I won't, I mean, that was when you showed me that movie, I was like, yep, undiscovered country. That's it.
I'm a big fan of
Not one
Khan, but
that's
it wouldn't take much to convince me to just change my vote to Star Trek 6. It's that
come on,
close to a
man.
tie.
Pink blood? What?
I know, and they never used it again. And they were making TNG episodes about Klingons at the exact same time, and there was blood in them, and they didn't use the purple blood stuff.
Well, maybe it's just changed,
Yeah, well, that's true. The
Worf's dad
Klingons
even
the
shows
Klingons
up.
have changed a lot.
Yeah, just a little bit. I love how like they won't talk about it.
Yeah, that Trials and Tribulations episode from Deep Space Nine
Yeah,
is like won't even
yeah.
come up. We don't talk about it.
Uh,
This became a Star
yeah,
Trek
Kurzagad said
stream.
Tyler is right. I remember that. It looks weird. Let's
Wait, we're
see.
what Generations? Yeah, it was weird. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know that.
Breath. Oh yeah. Lord Adorable. Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2. Oh, I can't wait. I hope they're close to getting done with that, but I don't want to rush it. I don't want to be one of those fans. It's like make it now. Give me my thing now. I just
No, man.
I'm very
Yeah,
excited.
take your time.
Yeah, take your time. Make it
Take your
awesome.
time. Miyamoto ain't gonna mess around.
I don't know how much time they spent on the first Breath of the Wild, but it is a masterwork. So
Oh yeah.
whatever
No,
time they
this
spent, take the time.
even Super Mario Odyssey was like incredible.
Oh yeah. What was
I
the
played
one
2 seconds of it, but
Galaxy? You remember Galaxy, where it's like the little Prince worlds that you could run around?
yeah,
That
yep,
was so
yep.
good.
In 3D World, my favorite actually Super Mario, and but it's only because it's the one that I played the most that I actually played a good amount of was Super Mario Sunshine. It was so bizarre.
Yeah,
You ever
that
played
one
that
was
one?
good. I remember that one.
Where he's like cleaning up pollution and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
a water thing. Oh my
It
God,
was
that was so
weird, but it
good.
was good.
But so that was my reaction to like, yeah, it was weird to my brother. I was like, yeah, it was weird, but it was good, like really good. And my brother pointed something out to me. He goes, "What Super Mario game isn't weird?
Yeah, that's true. They're all kind of funky.
They're
But I mean, I
they're
don't know,
all
like
just bizarre.
Mario World on Super Nintendo, it felt just kind of like an
You got to go,
expanded Super Mario Brothers 3. Like it just kind of felt like, oh, they added a little
yeah.
bit more. But he is riding a
Right.
weird dinosaur for no reason, so I guess it is weird.
So there's a backstory to Yoshi.
There's a backstory.
Yeah, you got to go to yeah, you got to play Yoshi's Island, man.
Oh yeah, but
The
I mean,
sequel to Super
at the
Mario.
time,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, a little mystery. No, yeah, they were shooting from the hip. Let's put a dinosaur in.
sure, kids love dinosaurs. They do. Let's do it.
All right, we got 5 minute warning. Just to let you
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, we got a production here.
Oh, Lord Jordan said Breath of the Wild was supposed to come out in 2014 originally. Wow, I
Oh
didn't know that.
wow, glad they waited. I'm glad they waited. I did. I got. I will admit that I didn't have a Switch when it first came out. I had a Wii U, and so I got it on that, and I played through. But I've played through it 8 times, I think, at this point.
Dude,
On
I
Master
had no
Mode,
idea that you had
that I had a Wii U.
Yeah.
I got it just for Breath of the Wild. I went to. The Switch wasn't available yet, and was a little out of my ability to buy at the time. Um,
Yeah.
but I went to a used game store and got a Wii U for like, I don't know, $50 or something. So
Wow. Well,
that's how I played Breath of the Wild for the first time.
well, my I think my brother, that's how he beat it. He beat it on the Wii U.
Yeah, and it was
Um,
great on there, but it's really nice to have handheld.
yeah, 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 for sure.
Didn't look any different.
Did you play the Star Fox on the Wii U
No, no. Is that good?
with the crazy ass controls? Like it was all motion controls and stuff
Oh my god, that would have frustrated me.
with that with the pad. It was, and you had to look at. It wasn't no. You could turn off the motion controls, but you had to look at two screens. You had to look at the little screen in the thing, whatever that controller was called, with the pad, with the touch screen and everything like that. And then you had to look at the main screen.
Oh wow.
And there were
Oh yeah,
certain
yeah.
levels you had to only look at the one screen versus the other.
That's right. Yeah,
And
because it had the like big pad thing. Like the controller was gigantic. What a
yeah,
weird
yeah.
system.
Um,
We got one question before the stream ends.
oh, okay.
Oh no, I can't say it because then it'll give away who this is. I can't say it.
God.
No, I can't say
And
it.
you ask him why he was almost kicked out of the Met.
It ruins the surprise. You'll know
So
exactly who this is. Oh, fine. I'll give in.
no, 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 no.
No,
Don't
no,
do
no. I'm
it.
not gonna
Don't
give
do
in.
it.
I'm not giving in. No, 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 no.
No, no.
No, I'm not doing it.
No.
I'm not giving in. It'll be a surprise.
Uh, I'm getting first law vibes, but don't give in. Okay, don't give in.
I'm not giving in. I'll never give in.
All right. Well, you gotta tell at the end when you actually do, actually paint it up
But man, have you read
full
the First
color.
Law? The First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie?
No,
Dude,
no,
it is absolutely effing incredible. And that is
really.
all I have to say. It is
Okay.
some of the best fantasy I've ever read. It's so good. Um, and the long story of this is a friend of mine, Jesper Icing, made me buy it when he was visiting once. He was like, "This is the best fantasy story I've ever read," and I was like, "All right, whatever. What does this guy know?" And I never read it. And then another friend of mine, Brandon, he was like, "You got to read this. It's really good." I never read it. And then someone got Kate into it, and she read all of them, like all of his books, in
Wow.
in like a couple weeks. And she was raving about it. So I was like, all right, I got to do this. And then I started reading it, and I was completely blown away. It is brilliant.
All right. Well, that is a perfect time, perfect moment to end that with a. Now I got to go check that out for before the next show. So, what are you gonna be doing next week, Tyler?
I think I'm having fun with this one, so I'll probably keep pushing this. I think I want to push this to a point where I can um, actually paint it. So I think I'm going to get a little reference because I'm struggling with one or two areas here where I need reference. So I'm going to get some reference, and if I have time next week, I'll try and get the reference together for it, and then tighten this up, and then I can go to a painting. I'd like to do this as a physical painting. So,
Sweet,
and by then, hopefully, I'll have
sweet.
my
Well,
setup so I can stream that. So,
yeah, man, that'd be awesome. So I'll be working this up. If I could finish it, um, I don't know if I'll have time to even finish it off stream. So you might see this again, and I'll probably try and finish it on the screen on stream. So I'm just gonna be adding more color to it. So and then just pulling it together and adding my final charges of paint. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Another fantastic, fun time. I've been Ray Bonilla. You can find my work at raymondbonilla.com and on Instagram at Ray Bonilla Painter. And who are you, sir?
well, before I say who I am and cut out on our amazingly choreographed outros, but that piece is looking stellar, man. The way that hot spot you got going there, it's killer.
Oh,
I
thanks, dude.
love it. I love it. I have been, and always will be, Tyler Jacobson, and you can find me at Tyler Jacobson Art, and at Tyler Jacobson Art. And this has been another incredible episode of Livebrush, where we figured out that Star Trek, the motion picture, isn't as good as Star Trek 2 or Star Trek 6.
Oh my
And
God, to
we're
be
going to be signing
continued.
off. We'll be signing off.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Livebrush, where we share, you can find all the announcements. And for those of you watching the video on demand, thank you very much for doing that on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, well, I guess we'll see everyone next week. Thank
Thanks
you,
so
everyone.
much, everyone. Bye-bye now.